Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's class. I am Madhuri from LK Wagji MPS Secondary School, Matunga, and we will be doing revision on Maths 2, the topic coordinate geometry. Okay, we'll be doing a quiz at the end, so please make sure that you revise, note all the points. So the first topic is about the axis. The horizontal axis is the x-axis, the vertical is the y-axis. It breaks the entire plane into 4 parts. We start from here and move anti-clockwise. That's the first quadrant, second quadrant, third and fourth quadrant. Next is how to identify coordinates of a point. Given a point, always start with looking at the x-axis, checking where that point maps on the x-axis. So writing the x coordinate first and then the y coordinate, that gives us the coordinate of a point. For example, here a point P, the x coordinate is 2 and the y coordinate is 3. Next, this is something we did yesterday as well, so I'm not going to go into much details with that. Something to remember, the y coordinate of every point on the x-axis is always 0, and the x coordinate of every point on the y-axis is 0, right? So I'll give you the standard form, the generalization to this. So any point which is lying on the x-axis, it is of the form x comma 0. So notice the y coordinate here will be always 0. Likewise, any point which lies on the y-axis, it is of the form 0 comma y. So notice the x coordinate is always 0. And then remember the axis, the point of intersection of both the axes, the point where both the axes meet, it is called as the origin, and the coordinates are 0 comma 0. Okay, and then we look at the sign convention for the quadrants. So for the first quadrant, the signs are plus plus. For the second, it's negative first and then positive. For the third quadrant, both the signs are negative. For the fourth quadrant, first it's positive and then negative. Okay, just by looking at the signs, we can identify a given point is from which quadrant. Okay, so these are few examples. Let's quickly take 2-3 examples and then we'll move ahead. So the first step is to look at the signs, but always be careful to check if there is any zero. Okay, if there is any zero. For example, for the fifth one, here it's a negative and a positive. But remember, 0 is neither positive nor negative. So when there is a 0, this 0 is at y. So x is negative 3, y is 0. So forget about the y coordinate. It means that this point lies on x-axis, All right. Let's look at this problem number 7. We see both the signs are positive. So this is the first quadrant, right? Look at 8th one. The first sign is negative. The second is positive. This is the second quadrant, right? Negative and a positive, that's second quadrant. Positive and a negative, that's the fourth quadrant. So if you look at this problem, here the x coordinate is positive, y is negative. So this point lies in the fourth quadrant. Okay. And another example, let's look at this fourth one. Here, notice the x is 0 and y is 4. Forget about the x since it's 0. That means this point lies on the y-axis. Okay. Then we see how to plot the points. So given a point, let's say we are given a point Q, which is negative 2 comma 2. So check what is the x coordinate, what is the y coordinate. Start at x equals to negative 2. So start at x equals to negative 2 and y is positive 2. So we move 2 units up. That gives us this point Q. Correct? For example, let's say we need to plot a point 3 comma negative 2. So in this case, you start at x, which is 3, and then y is negative. That means we have to move down. Okay, when it's a positive, y is positive, we move up, y is negative, move down. So start at x equals to 3. This is the point, and then moving down 2 units. Since that's a negative 2, that will be here. So this is the point. Let's say it's B. So the point B with the coordinates 3 comma negative 2. Okay. Next here, draw the coordinate system. Yeah, we just need to plot these points here for this question. So let's try out plotting few of them. Plot the following points. Let's take this point N. So x is negative 3, y is 4, negative 4. We start with plotting, or we start with the point x equals to negative 3. So start at negative 3. This is negative 1, this is negative 2, this is negative 3 over here. And then since y is negative, we need to move down by 4 units. So moving downwards by 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. So this is the point N negative 3 comma negative 4. Okay, then let's say we need to plot this point S 7 comma 0. So x is 7, y is 0. Since it's a 0, forget about it. That means the point lies on the x-axis at 7. So on the x-axis, where is 7? Check after 5, 6, 7 over here, this point. So just label it. This is S with the coordinates 7 comma 0, that way. Okay, again, if you need to plot this point T, x is 0, y is negative 5. Forget about the x coordinate. Since it's 0, concentrate on this. The point lies on the y-axis at negative 5. So check where is negative 5 on the y-axis. Over here, label it. That's point T with the coordinates 0 comma negative 5. Okay, so that's how we plot the points in the quadrants and on the axis. Okay, so next, let us look at some other questions. Yeah, identifying the equation of a given line. We see that this dotted line is passing through the y-axis at the point 4. At the point 4. So the equation of this line will be y equals to 4. As simple as that. Just check the line is passing through which point. Of course, it should be parallel to any one axis, right? So this line is parallel to x-axis and it is passing through y equals to 4. So the equation is y equals to 4, like that. Okay, let's look at this one. This line is passing, the black line, it's passing through y equals to negative 4. So the equation is y equals to negative 4. Okay, let's look at another example. Here it's passing through x equals to negative 4. So the equation is x equals to negative 4. And then in this case, it's passing through x equal to 3. So the equation is x equals to 3. Those were a few examples. Then we saw some very important questions which can be expected in exam. So this is one of the question which is seen. Maybe if I change this, if I change some details, let's say we did this question yesterday with x equals to negative 4. Let's say this time it is x equals to negative 10. Then what will be the distance between the parallel lines, right? So the question is, there's x-axis and there's this line x equals to negative 10, and these two lines are parallel. Okay, so the x-axis and this should be y actually, yes. So let's say the x-axis and y equals to negative 10. Between these two lines, what is the distance? Okay, we are asked to find the distance. So just check x-axis is this one, the horizontal line. This is the x-axis, and then the line y equals to -10. So -10 over here. This is the line y equals to -10. So what is the distance between these two lines? Clearly the distance is 10 units. So the distance between the two lines, that is 10 units. Okay, so one way of doing it is simply graph both the lines, highlight the x-axis, highlight the, show your y equals to -10, and then it's clearly seen that distance between them is 10 units, like that. Okay. Yes, let's do some of these questions. So notice that whenever the equation is in one variable, it will be parallel to any one of the axes. Okay, so in this case, let's say we have to graph x plus 4 equals to 0. So just get x by itself, get rid of this positive 4. So shifting it to that side, it will become -4. So x equals to -4. That means we have to graph this equation, x equals to -4. That means the line will be passing through this point x equals to -4. So on the x-axis, where is -4? Check over here. That means the line will be like this. A straight line passing through x equals to -4. Okay. Then we have y minus 1 equals to 0. So shift this -1 to that side. It will become y equals to 1. So the line will be passing through y equals to 1. Y equals to 1 is this point, and the line is like this. It will be passing through y equals to 1. And then we have 2x plus 3 equals to 0. So that's a nice question. Check. So plus 3, that side it will become -3. 2x equals to -3. And then get rid of the 2. 2 is in multiplication here. That side it would divide. So x equals to -3 over 2. Okay. So that's the equation. Okay. Now the easiest way of to do this is just get the fraction to decimals. This will be -1.5. 3 divided by 2, that is 1.5, and the negative sign. It means that the line will be passing through -1.5. So check where is -1.5 on y-axis. -1.5. So on the negative side, on the x-axis, between 1 and 2, -1 and -2, exactly between it, that's the point, -1.5. So the line will be passing through -1.5, and the line has to be parallel to y-axis. That's the graph. Okay. And students, please note that you need to write equation of the given line on the graph like that. Okay. So this one is x equals to -4. This one is y equals to 1. So you graph it, show arrowheads at the end, and on any one of the end, right or left, wherever, at the end near the arrows, you should write out the equation. Okay, let's look at the last one. 3y minus 15 equals to 0. So get rid of this. It will become 3y equals to 15. Get rid of 3. 3 is in multiplication. It's that side it would divide. So y equals to 15 divided by 3. So y equals to 5. That means the line will be passing through y equals to 5. So check where is 5 on the y-axis, and then draw a straight line which is passing through y equals to 5, and it should be parallel to x-axis. Okay, I hope that's clear. This type of questions are super easy. A little advanced question is of this kind where you have two variables in one equation. Okay, so two variables are there. It means that the line won't be parallel anymore. Okay, so we are going to get some different type of lines here. In yesterday's class, we saw how to graph these x plus y equals to 2 type of, we saw this equation. So let's do this equation today, the second one. 3x minus y equals to 0. Yeah. So the best way of graphing this is to get the points first. At least try to get 3 points. And to get the points, you need to bring any one variable by itself. So in this case, we see that the coefficient of y is 1. So get y by itself. The negative y, if you move it to that side, it will become positive y. So 3x equals to y. Okay. Now, if we just need to put random values of x and we'll get values of y. So y equals to 3x. Draw out a table like this, x and y in it that way. So we can just start with random values. Let's say x is 0. What if x is 1? And what if x is negative 1? Okay. So y equals to 3 times, in place of x, put 0. In place of x, put 0. So that will give you y equals to 3 times 0, which is a 0. So put a 0 over here. Now set x equals to 1. So 3 times, in place of x, it's a 1 there. So we get y equals to 3. So 1 comma 3 is the second point. And for the last one, check y equals 3 times x. In place of x, we are going to put negative 1. So what do we get? 3 times negative 1, that's a negative 3. So we put negative 3 here. Okay. So that's the second step. First step, get any one variable by itself. Second step, get the points, right? Third step, plot the points. And fourth step, join the points to get the graph. Okay, let's plot the points. 0 comma 0. So x is 0, y is 0, that's origin over here. Then 1 comma 3, x is 1, y is 3. Start at x equals to 1 and move 3 units up. So 1, 2, 3 over here. This is 1 comma 3. And then negative 1, negative 3. Maybe you could just what do you call, you could just label each and every point. This is 1 comma 3, and then we have the third point, negative 1, negative 3. So x is negative 1, y is negative 3. Start at x equals to negative 1 and y is negative 3. So moving down 3 units over here, that's the point. Okay, and label it negative 1, negative 3 that way. Now joining these points, we get the graph. Okay. Now since I'm drawing it out on the PowerPoint presentation, I won't be able to get the straight line. Okay, I don't have that tool here, but when you join it using a ruler, you get a nice straight line. Okay. I've got some more points so that I just try to join them, but it won't be a straight line though. Okay, so that's how you get the graph. Once again, I'll repeat the steps. Step 1, get any one variable by itself. So in this case, we got get y by itself. Then step 2, get the table or get the points. Step 3, plot the points. Step 4, join the points to get the line. Okay, so the same process you can try out for this question number 3, and you can try that out. Okay, maybe I'll quickly just help you to get the y term by itself. See, the y is, the coefficient here is 1, so you can get y by itself. Check 2x plus y equals to 1. So if we want to get y by itself, shift the 2x to that side. This is an addition, that side it would subtract. So y equals to 1 minus 2x. Okay, now set random values for x and you will get the value of y. Okay, let's look at another type of question. Now these type of questions are Again, very important ones. So some points are shown in this figure. With the help of it, we have to answer few questions. We are asked to write the coordinates of the point Q and R. So check. When we start with Q, always start with the x coordinate. So what is the x coordinate? It's -2. What's the y coordinate? It's 2. So the coordinates of Q are -2, 2. Next is the point R. So check what is the x coordinate first. For R, what is the x coordinate? So moving towards the x axis, it's 4. And what is the y coordinate? It's -1. So we have got the coordinates for point R, 4, -1. Now for this type of question, you don't have to draw this diagram on the question paper itself. You can just do some markings like this and you can identify the coordinates. Okay, no need to draw this entire thing. Right. The second question says write the coordinates of the point T and M. So starting looking at T, here is the point T, and you can clearly see that it's lying on the y-axis. Since it's on the y-axis, the x has to be 0, right? So for T, the x is 0 and y is -1. So that's the coordinate of point T. Next, M. So check where is M. Here it is on the x-axis. Since it's on the x-axis, the value for x will be same 3 and the y will be 0. Yeah. So that's the point for M. The coordinates are 3, 0. Now look at the third one. Which point lies in the third quadrant? Now we start from here. This is the first quadrant. That's the second. Moving anti-clockwise, that's the third quadrant. So which point do you see in the third quadrant? That's point S. Okay, capital S. Which are the points whose x and y coordinates are equal? Okay, so you need to see which coordinate has both the values of x and y same. Okay, so you can quickly see what are the coordinates of P. So coordinates of P, x is 1, y is 3. So no, that's not P. It's not Q because both are different. 2 and -2 both are not same. Then S, x is -3 and y is -2, so that doesn't work. For T and M, they are lying on the axis, on the y and x axis, so no, that doesn't work. R also doesn't work. So what is that point? It's clearly the origin, okay? Clearly the origin, that is 0, 0. It could have been another point as well. Let's say there was one point over here like this, 2, 2, in case. This is just an example, okay? So if there was a point like this, see, the x and y coordinates both are equal. Okay, if there is no such point, then by default it's the origin always. Okay, so you can just mention it's O, or just you can write that it's the origin. Okay, now this question, without plotting the points on a graph, state in which quadrant or on which axis do the following point lie. Now again, this is a very nice question, and most of the time what happens, students end up drawing out or graphing out the points, but it's clearly stated without plotting you have to identify the quadrant. Okay, so just by looking at the signs, the first one is 5, -3. So the sign convention, first a positive, then a negative. Clearly that's the third quadrant. Okay, so here I'll draw it out. Positive and positive, first quadrant, negative and positive, second quadrant, negative and negative, third, positive and negative, that's fourth quadrant. Any point which is on x-axis, it is of the form 0, sorry, x, 0, and any point which is on y-axis, it will be of the form 0, y. Okay, so quickly let's identify this. That's a super easy question. -7 and -12, both the coordinates are negative and negative, so that's the third quadrant. Okay, I have messed up here. It's positive and negative. This had to be the fourth quadrant. Okay, I said something and wrote something maybe. And let's look at the third one. It's -23 and a 4. So first the negative sign, then a positive sign. It has to be the second quadrant. Okay. Next, negative 9 comma 5. This is same negative sign and then a positive sign. So that has to be second quadrant. Make sure you write out the spelling. Fourth quadrant, third quadrant, that way. Okay. Then check fifth one. It's 0 comma negative 3. Since x is 0, forget about x, there is y. That means this point lies on y axis. Okay. And the last one, negative 6 comma 0. Here the y is 0, so it lies on x axis. Okay. That's how we do it. Next, plot the following points on the one and the same coordinate system. Okay, so there are again these type of questions where you need to plot all the points on one single system, and then they may ask us to join them and check what shape is it or find the area of that shape. These are again extended application based questions for coordinate geometry. Okay, so let me quickly plot these points. It says 1 comma 3. So starting at x equals to 1 and moving towards upwards 3 units. So 1, 2, 3, that's 1 comma 3. Then it's b negative 3, negative 1. So check starting at x equals to negative 1. And sorry, x equals negative 3. So x equals negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3 over here. And then negative 1. So moving down 1 unit, this is the point. Of course, when you plot the point, you need to label it then and there itself. So this is a 1 comma 3. This point is b negative 3 comma negative 1. Next c negative 1 comma negative 4. So start at 1, x equals to 1 and y is negative. So moving down 4 units over here, this is the point C, which is 1 comma negative 4. Then D, that's negative 2 comma 3. So starting at x equals to negative 2 and moving up 3 units. So 1, 2, 3. This is the point over here. Label it D negative 2 comma 3 that way. And then we have the other 2 points which lie on the axis, right? So x and y. X is 0, forget about x. Y is negative 8. So on the y axis, label the point at negative 8. This is point E with the coordinates 0, comma negative 8. Next we have the point F. X is 1 and y is 0. Forget about y. X is 1. So just highlight the point at 1 on x-axis over here. So it's f 1 comma 0 that way. Next we have this question, again a very important question. It can be asked for 3 marks. In the graph alongside line LM is parallel to the y-axis. What is the distance of the line LM from the y-axis? So we just need to find what is the distance of this line LM from the y-axis. Okay, so clearly you just have to look at the graph, and just a minute, the pen is not working, it seems. Yeah, so we just need to find this distance. This is the y-axis and then this is the given line LM. We just need to find the distance between them. That is distance between 0 and 3. It's 1, 2, 3. So the distance here is 3 units. Next, they are asking us to find the coordinates of the points P, Q, R. So what are the coordinates of point P? Starting with the x coordinate, that is 3, and the y coordinate, that's 2. So 3 comma 2. So P is 3 comma 2. What about Q? So check, x coordinate is 3 and y coordinate is negative 1. So Q is 3 comma negative 1. What about R? Looking at R, it is on the x-axis. So the x value will be there and y will be 0. So that's how you get the coordinates of those points. Next, we are asked, what is the difference between the x coordinates of the point L and M? So first write down what is the x coordinate of point L. What is the x coordinate of point L? So check, it's 3. Okay, and what is y? Y is also 3, so 3 comma 3. So the x coordinate of point L is 3. Likewise, what is the x coordinate of the point M? X coordinate of the point M. So here it's a 3 and y is negative 3. So for both of them, the x coordinate is 3. And we are asked to find the difference between the x coordinate. Difference means what? We have to subtract. So difference between x coordinates of L and M will be 3 minus 3, which is equals to 0. Okay, so there are these type of questions also. They may ask you to add or find product, or find difference like that, maybe for x coordinate or maybe for y coordinate. Anyhow, just try to write the correct steps and perform given operation, right? Okay, let me just quickly check if we have time for the quiz. Yes, we do have 10 minutes. Let's try to do a quiz now. I'll be sharing the quiz link in the chat box. Yeah, I request everyone to quickly join. Click on that link which is shared in the chat box. Click on the link and you just need to type in your name and enter so that you are here for the quiz. Okay, I see Mayuri has joined. Gupta, Raj. Others, please join. Okay, I'll wait for 5 seconds. Please join others. You just need to enter your name and hit enter so that you are there for the quiz. Okay, I'll start. Others who still want to join, please note that the link is there in the chat box. Okay, that's the first question. What is the coordinate of point A? Okay, here I'm going to share the screen. Okay, I guess you are able to see my screen. Very good. Most of you got it right. Let us look at the next question. Question is, what is the coordinates of point B? Okay, what are the coordinates of the point B? So starting with x, that is negative 4, and what is y? Okay, you need to select the correct choice. Always start with the x coordinate and then the y coordinate. Ready for next question, everyone? What is the coordinates of point B? Yeah, what are the coordinates of point B? So I guess the question is repeated. X-axis and then the y-axis. So what is the x-axis? And then look at the y-axis. All right. 5 more seconds. Time up. Let's look at next question. Fill in the blanks. The given point 0, -7 lies on the x-axis or in the second quadrant or on the y-axis or in the fourth quadrant. Where does this point lie? Check. The x is 0 and y is -7. Whatever is 0, forget it. The point lies where? Please give 5 more seconds. Come on, everybody. Well done. 14 of you answered. And let's see how many of you got it correct. Okay, I see many of you got it wrong. Just check. X is 0, y is -7. So x is 0. So forget about x. There is a y value, so it lies on the y-axis. Okay, let's look at next question. It says the point at which the x coordinate, the two coordinate axes meet is called what? The point at which two coordinate axes meet is called what? What is it? The two axes, x-axis and the y-axis meet at what point? Okay. So I'll give you 5 more seconds. And let's see how many of you got it right. The axis they meet at the origin, right? So the origin was the correct answer. Origin. Only 5 of you got it right. Please don't give random answers. Let's look at the next one. It says if y coordinate of a point is 0, then the point always lies in first quadrant or second quadrant, on x-axis or on y-axis. Where? Notice the y is 0. That means there will be some value for x. So where will it lie? Yeah, it will lie on 4 seconds. It will lie on x-axis. Right? Y is 0. There is some value of x. That means it will lie on x-axis. Very good. Let's look at next question. It says the point whose ordinate is 4 and lies on y-axis is. Okay, ordinate means the x value. So the x value is 4 and it lies on the y-axis. Since it lies on the y-axis, there will be some value for y, right? And the x will be 0. So what's the answer? Time's up, check. Since there is some y value, that means it lies on the y-axis. That means there will be some y value. So the y value was 4 and x will be 0, correct? Check, it says point 1, -1 and -1, 1 lies in the same quadrant. Is it true or false? Just need to look at the sign convention. Positive, negative and negative, positive. Do they lie or in the same quadrant? Just look at the sign convention. Positive, negative and negative, positive. Will it be the same quadrant? Okay, it seems still many of you are giving random answers. Is it? Name the quadrant in which this point lies. -5 and -4. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Which? Both the signs are negative. Which quadrant is it? Both signs are negative. Which quadrant? Both the signs are negative. So which quadrant? Okay. Time up. Take another 2 seconds. I see only 11 of you have answered. It's a super easy question, right? Okay, let's see how many of you got it correct. Both negative, that will be third quadrant, right? Okay. What are the coordinates of point X? What are the coordinates of point X? First look at the x-axis and then look at the y-axis. Always start with looking for x coordinate first. So what is the x coordinate first and then the y coordinate? What is x coordinate and what is y coordinate? Okay, I'll give you 5 more seconds. Right, let's see. So the answer to this was 4, 4. The x coordinate was 4 and the y coordinate was also 4. How do you write an ordered pair? How do you write an ordered pair? Is it x comma x or is it x comma y? How is it? Timer is ticking. Another 5 seconds. How do you write the ordered pair? It's always x comma y, right? Again, that was an easy question. X comma y. What are the coordinates of point N? What are the coordinates of point N? Start with the x-axis and then the y-axis. The x-axis first and then the y-axis. What is x and then what is y? 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. The answer was 6, 6. Next question. Where is R on the coordinate plane? Where do you see R on the coordinate plane? You just need to find out coordinates. Okay, so what are the coordinates of point R? Always start with x first. So for R, what is x? And then what is R? Sorry, x first and then y. So x is 4. What do you see for y? Okay, time up. X was 4 and y was 6. So 4, 6 was the correct answer. Let's look at next one. It's a very nice question. Check. What is at 1, 2? What is at 1, 2? What do you see at 1, 2? Is it moon, sun, a blue planet, or a robot? What is at the point 1, 2? Okay, another 5 seconds. Not fast. What do you see at 1, 2? Okay, time up. The answer was robot, right? Madhura, Mayuri, Shruti, well done. And that is the end of this quiz. Let's look at the top 3 students who scored well. It's Vishal, Mayuri, and Madhura. Well done, students. So that was it about today's class. Let's meet tomorrow. We'll continue with some other topic. Probably we'll look at quadrilateral. Thank you for joining, everyone, and have a nice day.